I'd wait till we get going.
I think it's already unmuted, no?
No, I had a meeting.
It was unmuted.
Maybe closer?
Closer?
Yes.
There are kids behind her probably. Some people over here too. I don't.
Yeah, I'm coming. I can feel this entire side of the screen. Don't worry.
Are they all in the shot?
Come on, yeah. Go.
They need to be.
You going to let me on that side?
Sure.
Yeah. Wherever you feel comfortable, Mark.
Oh, no. I was going to take the podium.
Come on. You good? All right, we're ready when y'all are. All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of everybody up here, first thing I want to do is thank you all for being here. I know that today is a big news day here in Harris County or Houston. There's some guy named Joe Biden in town. There's a lot of rain. So for those of you that were supposed to be covering Joe Biden and ended up having to come here and listen to me, thank you. And I apologize. But I assure you, you are here for something that is very important. For those of you that are here today that were supposed to be out there covering flooded streets or something out in the rain, you're welcome. And thank you for being here, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Nicholas Ware. I'm a partner at a law firm here in Houston, Texas by the name of Kirker Garcia, LLP. We are a law firm that specializes in catastrophic injuries suffered by individuals at the hands of negligent corporations and solo parties, individuals. I'm here today with several of my colleagues and also my client, Ms. Nhung Truong. I want to take a second and introduce all of them. First and foremost, this is Amy Dunn. She's of counsel with the Kirker Garcia Law Firm. Over here, we've got the Honorable Judge Mark Carter, retired. He's of counsel with the Kirker Law Firm. Elizabeth Moran, she is an attorney with the Kirker Law Firm. We also have Mr. Chris Feldman here. Chris Feldman is the founder of Feldman and Feldman. They have also been retained, as well as Kirker Garcia, to represent Ms. Nhung Truong. They're a prestigious litigation firm, so we're happy to have their help. And Mr. Feldman is the founding partner. I'm also here with my good friend, colleague, Sadi Anton Mate. It took me a while to learn that one. He is an attorney with the law firm of Pulaski Kirker. I will introduce Ms. Truong and her family here in a second, but Mr. Hai Bui,
Yes.
he is here. He is the founder of WeThePeopleOrganize.com. Okay, if he wants to talk more about that, he can here in a moment. Now, we're all here today because yesterday I, along with all the colleagues I introduced, filed a lawsuit here in Harris County, County Court number 3. It's a lawsuit called a common nuisance lawsuit under Chapter 125. We filed it on behalf of our incredibly brave client, Ms. Nhung Truong, against Dunwang Plaza Association, Inc. Following a vicious attack and aggravated robbery that occurred on February the 13th, 2023, and tragically left Ms. Truong severely injured and paralyzed from the waist down. I want to give you sort of a roadmap of how this press conference is going to go briefly before we jump too far into it and I get too far ahead of things. The first thing I'm going to want to do is introduce Ms. Nhung Truong, the lady I have the honor of representing here today, and tell you all a little bit about her. Then I'm going to want to cover some of the facts and circumstances covering the aggravated robbery and assault that was carried out against Ms. Nhung Truong back on February the 13th of 2023. Then lastly, for my part anyways, I'm going to briefly discuss with you all the allegations made in the common nuisance lawsuit that we filed yesterday and just sort of give you some information about that. At that point, I'm sure you will all be tired of hearing from me, So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Amy Dunn. She's going to make a few statements. My client, Ms. Truong, will then take over, and she will read a brief statement, and then we'll open it up for any questions that anybody has, okay? All right, so let's jump right into it. This is Ms. Truong. Ms. Truong's originally from Vietnam. She moved here about 10 years ago. She's a 44-year-old mother of 3, single mother. Unfortunately, her husband passed away 8 years ago. Before this vicious attack was carried out on her, she worked full-time as a nail tech here in Houston. She enjoyed all kinds of hobbies, mainly fishing with her children and spending time in parks with her children. Now, because of the attacks and her significant injuries, she is unable to work at all, and she is unable to enjoy those hobbies that she used to. Now, I'm sure some of you, it was in the news when she was attacked. Some of you probably already heard about the facts and circumstances surrounding it, but I want to go ahead and just cover some of those details in case some people don't know. I'll give you a brief summary. The attack that was carried out on Ms. Truong took place at Dun Hoang Plaza. Dun Hoang Plaza is in the heart of Houston's Asian town, and it's essentially a huge, I guess, shopping center or shopping complex, outdoor shopping complex. People are calling it all kinds of different things, and it's made up of all kinds of different stores. You can see it here on the screen, and every day, hundreds, if not thousands, of patrons, Harris County residents, visit the Dun Hoang Plaza to purchase goods and services, everything from medications to paying people to do their taxes to what Ms. Truong was there for the day she was attacked, get services from a travel agent. So, again, on February 13th, Ms. Truong was one of those very patrons, that was visiting the Dun Hoang Plaza when, unfortunately, an assailant by the name of Joseph Harrell laid in wait and ultimately ambushed her near an exterior stairwell. Joseph Harrell initially knocked Ms. Truong to the ground, picked up something she had dropped, started to take off, but then realized that what he had picked up wasn't the envelope full of money he was looking for. So he came back to Ms. Truong, attacked her again, picked her up, body slammed her to the ground, picked up an envelope that had cash in it, and fled the scene in a getaway car with his accomplice. It's essentially how the attack happened. I'm not going to tell you any more about it because there's a video of it, and the video will speak for itself. So I'll go ahead and play the video for all of you here today that haven't seen it, and for those of you that need a refresher. I will say that it's graphic, but we'll go ahead and play that for you now. All right. The only good news that I have surrounding any of this is that after that attack, the assailant, Joseph Harrell, was caught by law enforcement. He did ultimately plead guilty, and he is now serving 30 years in prison. His accomplice, Miss Woods, took a deal and got 10 years probation. Now, obviously, we're here today because Ms. Truong sustained serious injuries as a result of that attack and that aggravated robbery. I talked about that a little earlier, but I want to emphasize for y'all now that Ms. Truong and her family have suffered tremendously because of this attack and her life-changing injuries. The medical treatment to date that she has undergone has been substantial, and she's nowhere near, obviously, healed. In fact, as you can see, the attack has left her paralyzed from the waist down. Although we hope for the best, there's a high probability that Ms. Truong will never return to her prior physical, mental, or emotional health. Notwithstanding all of Ms. Truong's injuries and everything she's going through in that regard, ever since hiring Kirker Garcia and Feldman, Ms. Truong has remained adamant about one thing, and that is to make sure that nobody else visiting the Dun Hoang Plaza suffers the same fate that she did that fateful day back on February the 13th of 2023. That's been her number one concern, and that's what she's been adamant about us trying to make sure and take measures to prevent. Which is why she authorized us to file the lawsuit that we're all here to talk about today. That is the Chapter 125 lawsuit, a common nuisance claim against the Dun Huang Plaza Association, Inc. Just for, a simple way to explain a Chapter 125 claim, it's known as a common nuisance claim. It's Chapter 125 of the Texas Civil Practice and Remedies Code. It basically allows individuals to sue property owners or managers, like the association, who is the defendant in this case, for knowingly tolerating and failing to abate criminal activities at properties like Dun Huang Plaza. I told y'all earlier I would finish the portion of this conference by sort of telling you, discussing the lawsuit in more detail, but really what it comes down to, ladies and gentlemen, is this lawsuit is a lawsuit that has been filed for purposes of seeking temporary injunctive relief. In other words, we are asking the judge to take action and to force Dun Huang Plaza to cease knowingly allowing criminal activity to regularly occur on their premises, and to take actions to make sure that they abate that type of activity from occurring on our property, so nobody else suffers from the tragic fate that Ms. Truong has. Since we started working on this case, we've done some investigation, and we've found that crime has been rampant at the Dun Huang Plaza just in the last 3 years. That's from January 2021 to January 2024. The Houston Police Department alone, that's just the Houston Police Department, that doesn't include constables or anything like that, have received 419 calls for service to the Dun Huang Plaza. Those calls include things like reckless discharge of a firearm, unlawful carrying of a weapon, aggravated assault, sexual assault, robbery, aggravated robbery, and criminal mischief, among other things. Ladies and gentlemen, facilities like the Dun Huang Plaza exist to serve our community. The businesses that are there, they have a right for their employees to be safe when they come to work, and the patrons that visit those types of plazas and storefronts have a right to be safe when they come there to do business. And the Dun Huang Plaza Association is essentially, it's almost like a homeowners association for each of those individual stores. It's kind of unique. Those stores are each storefront is owned by a separate individual, and then they all pay into an association, and that association is an entity that's in charge of keeping common areas and things like that sanitary, safe, secure, well lit, things like that. The lawsuit that we filed here today is that they failed to do that. They failed to keep those areas safe, and as a result, significant crimes have been occurring there regularly for the last at least several years. We're going to dig more into that. But most importantly for us, of course, is Ms. Truong was severely attacked and ultimately paralyzed from the waist down. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Ms. Amy Dunn to give a brief statement. Once she is done, Ms. Truong will say something. Brief statement. Huh?
And hi.
Oh.
And hi.
And hi, you're going to speak as well, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll translate.
Okay. I forgot to introduce her children. Her children are here with her today. Amy's tall, and you guys, I didn't see you over there, but she's here with 2 of her 3 children today, Vaughn and Ann, right? Okay, I'll get better at that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Amy Dunn now. I appreciate y'all's time. Once we're done with all of that, we'll take questions if you have any. Thank you.
As an Asian American, I frequently visit Dun Huang with my family. We have friends who have shops and studios at Dun Huang. And when Mrs. Truong's case landed on my desk, I felt a compelling sense of duty and obligation to not only help Mrs. Truong, but the Asian Americans in Houston as a whole. I'm incredibly proud of Mrs. Truong for her courage to speak up today, because her voice will effectuate change. Her actions today by filing this lawsuit will prevent something like this from happening to someone in our community in the future. So Hai, would you like to have a few words?
Sure, no, let
Ms. Truong?
Ms. Truong, I'm sorry, good idea. I'll just jump in real quick.
Sure.
Yeah, to emphasize what Amy just mentioned, Dong Huang, since this is the year of the dragon, most Asian knows that Dong Huang is the head of the dragon. They do more business than anywhere. So imagine that's the head of the dragon, and you tie the tail all the way to the Vietnamese community. So again, you know Bel Air Boulevard, that is the heart of the shopping, and then it goes all the way down to the Vietnamese community. So that's my emphasis, is that as the leading point of the shopping, they should have much better protection, more security, to prevent my client from this injury. So Nhung now, she has her own statement. Emily, you have to, can we move the microphone, gentlemen?
But you will be speaking in English, so
Yes.
don't get too...
No, yeah, I will. I know, but no. She will finish her statement now. We'll just translate. Be easier. Can just be moved.
That'll work.
Can we move it to her?
She's gonna be fine right there, right?
Do you need a microphone to move it here closer?
She just wants to maybe like on her lap.
On a lap, you don't mind? Yeah. This one. How you got?
Easier if I may.
Yes. There you go, sir.
Let me move her mic from underneath the paper.
Okay. I'm sorry. There you go. Then we'll move back to the.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Okay.
It's okay, guys?
Nói lớn nha.
Dạ, tôi kính thưa chào mọi người. Tôi tên là Nhung Truong. Cuộc sống vốn dĩ rất là khó khăn đối với tôi. Kể từ khi chồng tôi mất, đó là khoảng thời gian tôi rất thật sự vô cùng đau đớn. Khi các con của tôi còn rất bé, một mình tôi đã chống vội với các mọi thứ để vượt qua giai đoạn ấy. Cuộc sống dần ổn định vì tôi là người khỏe mạnh, lên kiên cường và nghị lực. Niềm vui là chỗ dựa vững chắc của con của tôi. Tưởng chừng như thời gian lặng lẽ trôi qua, thứ tốt đẹp sẽ đến với tôi, nhưng dòng đời nghiệt ngã lại đến. Tôi không may bị cướp giật đi số tiền và tôi mất chịu, đành dành dụm mới được thời gian. Vậy mà tôi chuẩn bị ảnh hưởng đến vụ cướp. Đến nay tôi vẫn chưa đi lại được. Mỗi ngày tôi trôi qua đều sống trong nỗi đau đớn về thể xác của tôi, hoang mang. Mặt tinh thần của tôi luôn lo lắng sức khỏe của mình. Tự một người khỏe mạnh, năng động, miệt mài với công việc, mà giờ đây tôi trở thành người tàn phế. Bao nhiêu hoàn hảo sự nghiệp, sức khỏe của tôi đã bị nỗi đau vùi dập. Tôi thật sự đau đớn và thật sự bất lực, đến gục ngã giá như. Hôm đó tại nơi tôi xảy ra vụ việc cướp, có bảo vệ thì có lẽ tôi sẽ không bị thương tật như ngày hôm nay. Vì tôi luôn tin rằng một nơi làm việc như vậy luôn có bảo vệ, để bảo vệ những người dân an tâm đến đó để giao dịch. Nhưng tôi không ngờ khi xảy ra vụ việc cướp thì tôi có một người bảo vệ không nào đến giúp tôi cả. Sự thật mất tin vào cuộc sống tôi. Mong sao có phép nhiệm màu tôi được đi lại bình thường, để tôi đưa con tôi đi học, chở con tôi đi chơi. Nào đến giúp tôi cả. Tôi thật sự mất niềm tin vào cuộc sống. Tôi phép nhiệm màu để tôi bình phục lại đi trên bình thường, để tôi được đưa con tôi đi học, đi chơi như trước kia, lòng nhân ái, sự đồng cảm, chia sẻ mọi người đã giúp tôi đỡ khó khăn, cơn cực trong cuộc sống. Tôi rất cảm ơn mọi người. Từ vụ việc tôi, mọi người hãy cảm giác cẩn thận khi đi ra đường, để không bị trường hợp đáng tiếc như tôi xảy ra. Tôi cảm ơn mọi người đã dành thời gian lắng nghe tôi chia sẻ. Tôi xin cảm ơn. Dạ.
Now we'll translate now. So I'm with the mic back.
Dạ.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Nhung Truong. Life has been extremely difficult, especially since my husband passed away, leaving me in a short period of shock and grief, as well as the responsibility to take care of my children who were deeply saddened. I have struggled through that phase. Life slowly became stable, and I was strong and a healthy person, a joy and a foundation for my children. It appears time stood still and that all good things would come, but life's hardship came one after another, and I couldn't prevent the robbery that stripped away all my savings. Not only did it affect me financially, but I also have not recovered from the emotional impact. Every day is filled with agony and fear about the future's insecurity and instability. From being a healthy, active person, now I feel worn out, fatigued by work, and I've become a shattered individual due to numerous calamities and life's uncertainties that have crushed my spirit. I'm truly in deep pain and completely exhausted, on the brink of breaking down. If only I had been protected during the robbery, maybe I wouldn't have ended up as harmed as I am today. I thought buying tickets during that day was a safe and simple activity. But I never expected that when the robbery happened, there wouldn't be anyone to protect or help me. I really lost faith in life. I hope that after some miracle, I will be able to find peace again and to stand on my own 2 feet, so that I can take my children to play, to school as before. The compassion and support from everyone that have made my life's burdens a bit lighter. I'm very grateful to everyone. From what happened to me, I want everyone to be vigilant and be careful wherever you go and to avoid unfortunate incidents like mine. Thank you all for taking the time to listen and share with me. That's her statement. And I would also like to thank Kirkland and Garcia, and especially Amy Dunn, for taking the case. I want to be honest, I approached, as an activist, she called me and we helped, extended that bond initially, and all that situation in front of the courthouse, as you recall. But we looked over 10 attorneys, and they all declined. So we were very happy that Kirkland and Garcia took the case. So I'm really, thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much.
Should be your first call.
Thank you for those kind words, and we're happy to do it. At this time, I'll take any questions that you all have, a couple.
Yeah, I guess to start with Ms. Truong, can she give us just an idea about her physical situation? We know that she was trying to do some rehab to start walking again. Kind of where is she now? What's her prognosis?
She still is, but there's no firm prognosis on it right now. The doctors don't know whether or not she'll be able to walk again, but she continues to treat. She continues to hope, but the fact of the matter is that it's not looking great.
Okay. And then the other question is, we understand that you want security to increase at the plaza. Are you asking for financial judgment as well?
Well, see, so this is a Chapter 125 common nuisance lawsuit. It's separate from any lawsuit that may be filed at a later time in which a negligence claim is made or a negligent security claim is made, and that would be the type of lawsuit that would be brought in order to seek monetary damages. And it's no secret, that's our next step.
Okay. Will you wait to see, will you wait for this to be resolved before you file the negligence lawsuit, or is that coming regardless?
It's going to come regardless. We started with this lawsuit because this is what Ms. Truong was adamant about, was the first things first, she wants the plaza to be made safe and to be awarded that injunctive relief. So we started with this. We will follow up with a civil negligence claim for damages.
And when do you think that will be?
I can't comment on that because I don't want to be held to a date on it, but it'll be happening in the near future.
And how difficult is it to take a case like this? I mean, it was mentioned that they went to 10 different firms for the two law. What are the likelihoods of you guys,
We think it's high. The evidence that we've uncovered, the amount of crimes and the amount of calls for service that have been uncovered just on our limited research thus far are substantial. I think when Judge Williams hears all that evidence and the rest of the evidence that I'm sure we're going to uncover, she will be compelled to award the temporary injunctive relief and order that Dunwang Plaza Association do something to prevent a tragedy like this from occurring to somebody else.
Are you aware of any security? Is there a security guard at that, that
You should reach out to them and have them comment on that. However, people with my firm and my staff and several of us up here have visited the plaza on several occasions since hiring Ms. Truong, and we have yet to see any security on the premises.
I did reach out to the plaza. They did say they do have security, and it happened so fast in a second, the security guard may not have been handy enough to get to the scene right away. But after we noticed what happened, we immediately reported the incident to Houston Police and provided them with the video. So how would you respond to that, with them saying they do have security and
Well,
they do have security guards there?
I would say they need to hire they need to have adequate security. They said themselves in their statement to you that their security wasn't handy enough. Maybe more security so they can respond sooner, faster, and in enough time to prevent and to deter things like this from happening in the first place. If that assailant who was able to lay in wait underneath a stairwell would have seen multiple security officers on the premises, so there's a high likelihood that he would have moved on and gone somewhere else. But since they didn't have handy security, or security handy, now we've got a client here who's unfortunately, at least for the time being, paralyzed from the waist down.
And how would you respond to this? I'm pretty sure they will respond to you all, the other law firm, but how would you respond to them saying, this attack could have happened elsewhere? Like if she went, say she went close to her home, or she went to another business, they could have said this could have happened anywhere and you're just targeting our business. How would you respond to that?
Well, the fact of the matter is it happened at their business. And then we went and we did our investigation, and we uncovered that there are many, many incidents of crimes and calls being made for crimes occurring at that premises that fall within Chapter 125-0015. Therefore, it's a valid claim, and injunctive relief is needed.
That same statement goes on to say that, there have been these recent reports that HPD has had 260,000 plus suspended cases because of lack of manpower. So they seem to be suggesting that HPD is, I would presume what they're saying is that HPD is lacking manpower. They aren't able to provide security either.
Well, that would amount to them just washing to their hands of their responsibilities and trying to put blame on HPD, which is inappropriate here because HPD doesn't own the plaza. The Plaza Association, the Don Huang Plaza Association, they receive funds from each business within that plaza monthly. Okay, we've uncovered that, and those funds are paid to them in exchange for doing certain things, like keeping the plaza safe in the common areas. They've failed to do it. They've hired one security guard, it sounds like, who isn't handy.
Ultimately, you guys want to see more security patrol out there during normal business hours to make sure that patrons and business owners are protected.
Correct. That, better lighting, they could consult with professionals and experts on the matter of security and see what else they can do in order to try to prevent these crimes from happening on a regular basis at their property. And I
Have you guys
suspect
heard from the law firm yet? Have they,
we've not.
you have not?
We've not heard from a law firm in regards to the common nuisance claim.
And you filed yesterday?
Yesterday afternoon, yes. In fact, it was just accepted in the county court at law number 3 this afternoon. Anything else? Thank you all.
Oh, I do have a statement.
Personal experience yesterday.
Yeah, you should.
You sent it to me, though, to me, right? Not that one, okay. Hold on. Okay.